Hello and welcome to the Making of Amends, where we go over the various amendments brought to the Constitution. This will be our very first episode. Oh boy, I've got high hopes for this one. Now, as you are probably aware, on the large end of the spectrum, the federal government has control over very important things like collecting taxes, coining money, commerce, the ability to declare war, as well as supporting an army and a navy. But what about the smaller state governments present in the likes of the United States of America? What is it they do? What influence do they have over the people living in their respective borders? The list of state powers granted through the 10th Amendment, otherwise known as the Reserve Powers, is pretty long, since essentially anything not specifically mentioned to be powers of the federal government is reserved for the states and the people, as stated by the 10th Amendment. So we'll just be going over some of them. First up, we've got authority over law enforcement. States have the ability to execute and enforce laws in order to ensure the health, safety, and security of their citizens, meaning that some laws are state-specific. This also means that, by extension, the state also has authority over and through the police and the regulations that come with that. Another well-known power that state governments in the U.S. have is authority over the education system, as they have the responsibility of establishing and managing public education within their borders. State governments also have the reserved power to issue professional licenses, such as medical licenses or teaching licenses, and there is the ability to create and administer welfare and social programs, as well as distributing aid within state borders. Not only that, state governments can also regulate property ownership and use of land in their jurisdiction. They can regulate commerce that occurs in their borders as well. The state also has authority over matters of family relations. They can decide what marriages are legally recognized, whether someone can get divorced, and who can adopt another human being. States are guaranteed a degree of independence or sovereignty from the federal government as well. And with that, we have now gone over some of the powers of the state granted by the 10th Amendment. But that begs the question, are there any limitations to the powers granted to the states as reserved powers? The answer to that question is yes, because as powerful as a state can be, there are many limitations to their abilities. One of those limitations is that the state government cannot do anything considered unconstitutional. 1958's Cooper v. Aaron, for instance, determined that Arkansas was not allowed to delay the desegregation of schools, as it ran against the previous Brown v. Board of Education of Topeka, which determined that racial segregation in public schools violated the Constitution. Another example would be coming from the First Amendment, as it states that Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Meaning that since Congress can't make any laws that support or inhibit a religion, the states can't do that either. Granted, there's many more things that the state government cannot do, but since this was planned to be relatively short, we don't have time to go over everything. Speaking of time, that's all the time we have for today. Please tune in next week to learn about amendment number... Oh, we aren't making any more of these? Okay then. While we may not be meeting again anytime soon, this was the Making of Amends. Thanks for watching.